Alright, so in this game I'm dropping in, just assessing the situation, seeing where I should be. I pull out, and I know the enemy usually spawns to the far right over here, so I get on this ship. I throw my emergency support drone on the Welkin, hopefully he can engage in someone, that's my thought. I see a Stellaris, he tries to burst me, I do a little box, or a little square dance, put my emergency support drone on myself. The Stellaris disengaged. I throw my emergency support drone and then get backstabbed, but the downward slash actually put me on the ship. I stay on the little platform that I was slashed at, backstabbed, and the melee that backstabbed me, I think it was the enemy Stellaris, he actually fell through, which is pretty cool, I guess. In which case, I sort of dash away to stay with my teammates. I throw my emergency support drone because I see the enemy Pinaka getting teamed up, so I start blasting. And take a note of this Tricera over here, he's doing an execution. That's going to be important because that draws a lot of aggro and tilts the enemy Pinaka to chase him. I see that our Welkin's engaging their Welkin. I throw my emergency support drone, start blasting. I try to avoid the melee by going, the melee that was trying to backdoor me, by going towards our teammate. And here I'm a little bit out of position, so then I realize the enemy team's to my right. I get out before Welkin can box me. I was trying to put my emergency support drone on the Welkin, but there was the enemy Welkin's box, and that prevented me from putting it on our friendly Welkin. The Tricera also got distracted by a flyer, but had he focused on the enemy Welkin, I would have been able to do more damage. Here, our Tricera, I noticed him taking wall damage, and of course it's not my walls, so I start healing him a little bit. And that's also another thing, is the Tricera on our team executed the enemy Pinaka, tilted the enemy Pinaka, and then also the enemy Pinaka wants to throw down walls or orbital drops. I throw down walls, try to build some cover, and then I try to heal my teammates. They're engaging. I also looked at the team health and saw that our Aquila was really low. I turned around and started healing, providing my full kit to Aquila in order to get them back up to full health. I see our Stellaris is low. I missed my skill shot for the emergency support drone, and I put it on Stellaris. I start healing him. He runs away. I'm debating on when to shoot, but he gets his grapple in, and then I start blasting because I see that an enemy's trapped in the Welkin's box. I look around. I see the enemy Welkin's box up. I put my emergency support drone on Tricera for a little bit, but took it back in order to start shooting at the box in order to break it. Luckily, though, the box either was deactivated earlier or we broke it. Anyway, I threw my emergency support drone on Aquila to heal a little bit, and then I take it back. I throw it on the welk. And I'm just sort of dancing around, staying with the team because we got a really good lead right now. Healing people, not letting them die. I'm just evaluating things. So I have my emergency support drone on the Stellaris here, and I'm just trying to see if he has any visuals on anyone. And I'm looking around, I see our Panther's up top, very high up. He's doing the aerial Panther style. I'm looking around, making sure I'm not caught out of position. He's engaging with someone, I throw my shield on him. The enemy Tricera is shooting from a distance, not a big deal. I get attacked in the back by a lance, I do a little square dance, and we do get the final kill from something else. And that ends up being round 1. If you notice throughout my entire playstyle during the first round, I was basically just throwing my emergency support drone and doing passive healing while managing my energy, and when my energy was like 0, I just stuck to the ground and recovered it. I throw my emergency support drone, trying to see if they can get anyone. I'm just kind of waiting with the team because I don't want to be caught out of position. If you notice here, our friendly Welkin put up his box, and 9 times out of 10 he's probably put it on the enemy, especially on an elimination map. There's no objective other than killing the enemy, and that I see that our Aquila is shooting at the box, and I have my emergency support drone on Aquila, so if Aquila is shooting inside or at a friendly Welkin's box, I'm going to start blasting my splitters as well, and that's what I do here. I don't know who's in the box, but it ends up being an enemy Tricera, and that's not really ideal. Here I see that the enemy Welkin put up his box around our friendly Aquila, and I start rushing over there because I'm anticipating the enemy Welkin using the DF jammer, which removes my emergency support drone from the Aquila, and then I would start blasting with my emergency support drone on my back to break the box within like about 2 seconds. However, you know, the enemy Welkin doesn't use his DF jammer, and so I rush over there and spend a little of my energy just being a little more conservative, anticipating the Welkin being a little smarter than I thought he would have been. Because if you notice, my shield still has health, you can still see the bubble, and it's also melee stagger resistant, so he spends time either meleeing or attacking with his howitzer, the bubble, which is a shield that also heals. So I thought he would use the DF jammer, which is the most optimal move to get rid of that, and I was anticipating that and trying to counterplay that by just going closer to break the box to free our Aquila from that travesty. But it ends up being a nothing burger, and I'm just overanalyzing this. But hey, at least you get to see me rush over to an Aquila, then run back. And here I manage my energy a little bit, time my jumps with my boost in order to make sure I hit the platform where my teammate's at. I get hit by the enemy Tricera, I take cover, and then I get hit by the welk. I drop down a little bit, and this is pretty risky, but he's spinning and I dodge out of the way. So normally you wouldn't want to drop down and into a pit when you're inside a Welkin's box. It just happened to work that way. I think it's more luck than skill that got me out of that one. I throw my emergency support drone on the Aquila, do a little bit of healing. I'm just sitting back, sitting pretty, and then as our team advances forward, I advance with them because I don't want to be left alone. I heal the Stellaris a little bit. The enemy team is all right there, so I try to take some time back. I'm looking, maybe I could 1v1 a enemy Panther. I was thinking about a lot of things, but then I figured, you know what, it's not worth the risk. My job is to heal. So I stay back a little bit, start focusing on the heals. I get hit by a Welkin as I'm trying to focus on the enemy. So my eyes were focused on the Stellaris with my emergency support drone, and I was trying to blast my splitter with our Stellaris targeting the enemy Stellaris. So because I wasn't focused so much on my safety, I let a random Welkin just go up to me and slash my face with an axe. Not ideal, but you know, situational awareness does matter, and you know, anyone can slip up. It happens. And that's what happened here. Also, watching the replay, that Welkin just came out of the bushes, the pink little cherry blossom bushes, like nothing. And it's scary seeing a giant gorilla pop up out of nowhere. Luckily though, I dodge out of the way, and our friendly Welkin comes to save me a little bit, provides aggression, and I start to goad the enemy Welkin into doing some silly things as I throw down walls. And the rest of our team catches up, and our Panther lance charges him while he's distracted with our friendly Welkin, and we get the kill. Fairly straightforward. Yeah, so I do play it like stupid aggressive, and I goat and I bait when I have the team advantage. Right now I'm just assessing the situation, healing with my emergency support drone, passively just chilling a little bit. I go towards the team because we're engaging in someone. I throw my emergency support drone on the Welkin because he's a little weak. I accidentally break my tether. I try to get behind him and his shield so I can get shielded from the enemy Tricera. The enemy Panther did lance charge our Welkin, but then our Welkin put up the box and I put my emergency support drone. I was trying to get it on the Welkin, but I got it on the Stellaris and I started blasting from the outside. And I'm going around trying to heal our team, as I'm somewhat drawing aggro slightly because of course I'm a priority target because I'm a healer. But I have enough mobility that's not a big issue. And so they're engaging in a fight, in a brawl. The Welkin's box is open. I start shooting and blasting and throwing walls because he's cornered. It's very easy to get a wall kill on a Tricera that's being attacked by melee because chances are he's not going to get out of turret form. The enemy Panther lance charges and gets hit by the enemy's Welkin's wall, or box, sorry. And then they, you know, get a wall to the face and I get a kill. And now that we've taken out two of their teammates, at most it's going to be a, you know, a 4v6. So now we just have to focus on bursting this Welkin that's out of position by himself because we took out his teammates, and that helps us get another kill. If you notice here, I have my emergency support drone on Panther, and he gets ready for the lance charge, and he starts getting ready for the Welkin's box on our team to go down, and then I start blasting while he's waiting, and we get the kill before the box goes down, but the Panther on our team would have charged after the box went down, so that's another thing to note. Yeah, if you see me, I'm just going around putting my emergency support drone on people who need healing and then tether healing anything that's close to me. and I'm just dancing around trying to not be a target. I get hit by the enemy panther while our friendly panther is hitting the enemy Pinaka. The panther backs away, which is okay, and I go try to heal Stellaris, but I'm not too fast, not fast enough. However, we do get the last kill, and that wins us the game. So this is a game that I was in duo queue with our friendly Welkin here on our team. Yeah, if you notice, I paid attention to the team health. It's very close to my health and the reticle, and I was looking around for the Aquila several times throughout round 1 and 2, trying to make sure that I could, hey, maybe they're close range and I can heal them, and then I would search for them and heal them. And I like throwing down my whole kit. It does leave me a little exposed, but if I'm next to all my teammates, there's a high chance that they'll protect me and or peel for me. I was playing a little aggressive at the very end, and that's alright, because usually in elimination maps, when you have 7 kills on your side and the enemy team doesn't have like 6, you can play a lot more aggressive. And if you notice in round 1, we had a huge lead, and the enemy was being very defensive, playing very passively. They didn't want to, engage because they didn't want to lose one more life, which ends the round, Looking at the stat cards here, I think it was overall a healer and panther difference. Their healer got tilted because they died really early to our Tricera, which executed them, and so their healer was playing more aggressively than defensively in healing, so they weren't focused more on their job. And then our panther did a really good job with 7 kills. He probably targeted the Stellaris, therefore I didn't really see much of their Stellaris. After that, I mean, their enemy Stellaris died like 5 times. So our team did effectively a good job, and we stuck together. We had a better team composition, stayed close together, and because we had Aquila on our side, the Aquila on our side took care of basically the enemy in a way that the enemy had to either engage in a fruitless chase with melees or die. Ultimately, we could camp, but they couldn't because of our team comp and build. I think it would be a different game if their Falcon was really good and could take out our Aquila, but that wasn't the case. So our Aquila did their job, keeping the Falcon at bay, while also kind of annoying the enemy, and I did a good job of healing the Aquila, and the Aquila also did a phenomenal job of coming to me for heals, because that happened once in round 1 and once again in round 2. So that's also an important thing, is a lot of these aerial mechs, if they're far away from the team, it's like a risk for the healer to dive all the way to where the aerial mech is or the aerial striker is and try to heal them. It's going to take up all my energy, and I'm going to be away from the team, so I'm not going to be effective in my full kit to heal our entire team. So we kept that aerial game on lock, with the difference in heals and the difference in, I guess, general skill levels kind of balancing out. But our Aquila was really smart to get the heals. Their Panther was really hesitant on charging into our team. I mean, honestly, he could have done a lot more damage to either me or our friendly Panther, but they didn't. So, that's another thing to consider. Their Stellaris was trying a lot, but it ended up dying a lot. Their Welkin was alright, but, ultimately, the big difference was heals, and I did a lot better job at healing our team than the enemy Pinaka. It's also worth noting that our friendly Tricera didn't do so great with his heals, and he was more focused on the offensive, so that might be something that, you could think about or consider, is like, hey, if you're a Tricera, lay down your drones to help heal friendly allies and not just yourself. I also think it's kind of hard for him to get any repairs if I'm doing my job correctly, which, I was, fairly enough. We do have a couple deaths on our team, so it's not like I did phenomenal. I also only had 400k repair, and effectively I could have gotten that probably around 600k with the amount of damage that the enemy dealt. And that, if I would have pushed my numbers up to 600k and timed my dives a little more and get into closer to some of the friendlies that are, diving and dying, I could have gotten my numbers up, and that would have prevented our team from dying as much. So ideally, I'm trying to shoot for 0 deaths on our entire team. So, yeah, I mean, there are things I could improve upon. Overall, we worked together as a team. We stayed close together, and then we targeted one by one. And we weren't even really pinging. That was the crazy part. We were just kind of like in sync, I guess. And we won fairly well. So, that's the game. Yeah, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want. Just enjoy a good life. And hopefully you had fun or whatever, or learned something, because I know I did. I mean, I did not see that Welkin pop out from those pink cherry blossom trees or bushes or whatever you want to call them. That was surprising, and you know that's really scary. But yeah, enjoy life.